Let's just do 146, page 146, The Sun of Wisdom, the teachings of Noble Nagarjuna. An examination of mistakes. In the Prajnaparamita Sutras, the Buddha taught, desire is perfectly pure and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Connecting these with other mental afflictions and confused concepts, aversion is perfectly pure and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Pride is perfectly pure and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Stupidity is perfectly pure, and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Jealousy is perfectly pure, and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Wrong views are perfectly pure, and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Doubts are perfectly pure, and therefore forms are perfectly pure. Thus the Buddha taught about perfect purity in a vast way. The reason Nagarjuna composed this chapter was that there were those who said samsara exists because the mistakes that produce it exists. Mental afflictions cause sentient beings to accumulate karma, and as a result they take birth again and again in samsara. In order to help these people overcome their confused belief in the reality of samsara, Nagarjuna had to present an analysis of the mistakes that produce samsara, mistaken concepts about reality, mental afflictions arising from these mistaken concepts, and the karmic actions motivated by these mental afflictions. Nagarjuna had to demonstrate that none of these things truly exist. In general, people have a tendency to believe that being mistaken and being unmistaken, being right and being wrong are real. People conceive of right and wrong as being opposites that truly exist. If we are not able to reverse this tendency to think that right and wrong are truly existence, it will be impossible for us to realize emptiness. This is why it's very important for us to analyze mistakes and determine their true nature. It is also the case that sometimes people think, I really do not understand this stuff and all my views are wrong. I am constantly thinking about things wrongly. I have all these bad thoughts and have so many doubts I am never going to attain enlightenment. In this way, they get very discouraged. At other times, people think, look at that guy, he does everything wrong, his views are completely wrong, his conduct is completely wrong. This type of thought is wrong in itself thought. Though, for how could anyone know for certain what is inside another person's mind? Therefore, in order to reverse our tendency to get discouraged ourselves as well as our tendency to have wrong views concerning others, it is important for us to examine the true nature of mistakes, to put these into verse, so that we're no longer discouraged by our own bad thoughts, and so that we no longer incorrectly judge others to have bad thoughts. Let us examine mistakes' true nature. We can begin by examining the mental afflictions that arise as a result of mistaken thoughts and that cause us to take mistaken actions. The main mental afflictions are desire, attachment, aversion, and stupidity. Desire is refinement, object, what it focuses on is something we consider pleasant. Aversion's referent object is something we find unpleasant, and stupidity's referent object is mistaken a wrong view. Therefore, what we need to examine are these three objects, those we consider pleasant, those we consider unpleasant, and mistakes. When we examine these objects, however, we cannot find anything really there at all. Whatever object we analyze, we find that it is merely imputed to exist in dependence upon its parts. Analyze the present cells, we find that they are too imputed to exist in dependence upon their own parts. Down to the subtlest particles of matter intangible, nothing has any type of existence other than a mere dependent imputation. Therefore, since there really is no object out there, no reference point for any notions of pleasant or unpleasant, and unpleasant themselves cannot exist. This is what Nagarjuna teaches in the ninth verses. How could it be possible for sentient beings who are like illusions, or objects that are like reflections, to either pleasant and unpleasant? So that's it, just a small reading, page 149, The Sun of Wisdom, chapter An Examination of Mistakes.